Disaster, and this is Sir Gages a Lot. We are back with another video, and making this in the same day as my previous Screaming video.
3 minutes later.
Yeah, pretty much. But right now, we are coming at you with an album review. We're going to be reviewing Wormwood by the Acacia Strain.
If you can see that really well.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know anything about the Acacia Strain is a hardcore band from Massachusetts. They have 4 members. Vincent on vocals. I can't remember the names of the other guys, but one guitarist. Heavy shit. The bassist and the drummer. The Acacia Strain is probably one of the heaviest bands out there. You know, crazy breakdowns. You're not going to find any bass drops in the Acacia Strain.
Unless you see them live, possibly.
Unless you see them live, but that's only for certain shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very heavy, very well-structured songs. The lyrics are a little bit, you know, simple, not very poetic, but it's pretty much enough to get you moving at any time of the day, basically. This album differs very much from the previous album, which was Continent.
Oh my, a lot. If you listen or ever plan on listening to the Acacia Strain, I advise listening to the very first album, but if you get to Continent by far was coming into the Acacia Strain, my favorite album, and I grew onto it and I got very fond of it. Great album by all means, but when Wormwood came out, holy hell. I listened to this and I didn't like it much, but that's only because I was closed-minded about it. My mind was more stuck on Continent, just Continent, just all I liked. I love Skynet, I love JFC, it's just great album. But once I started to let loose a little bit and accept this album blew Continent, in my opinion, by far, and my favorite album of them so far. And from their new EP, I think the new album's gonna be really good too. So.
Oh yeah. This album has a bit of a heavier tone. It has more of like a genty kind of tone to the guitar. A lot of like the brow kind of sounds.
Whatever that's called technically.
Whatever that's called. Some people call it gent, some people call it whatever.
I call it wow.
I call it wow. Whatever. Their vocalist doesn't have very much of a vocal range. He does some highs, but for the most part it's all, you know, mids and shouts and, you know, typical kind of hardcore vocals, except his are a lot stronger.
I would have to say he's lying a little bit, because Wormwood, his lows are getting more gnarly, I guess, if that's appropriate to say. They are getting a little lower, and when we saw him live, he was kind of having a little gurgle to it.
Yeah.
It's hardcore genre, and by all means, I know there's a bunch of brilliant hardcore bands out of there. I mean, Redcore fan all the way over here too. But Acacia, I'm sorry, I'm not much of into the hardcore like that much. I don't know all the bands or anything like that. I only know like 2 as of the moment. But Acacia right now for me is by all the best.
Yeah, this album in particular has you know, the really groovy kind of, you know, on-off beat kind of breakdowns. But it's not one of those breakdowns where it's just like all chugging, all whatever, and the vocals aren't present. This guy screams through all the breakdowns, but he basically doesn't stop throughout the entire songs. Some people kind of don't like that. Some people think it's a bit annoying. Personally, I think it's great. It adds that much more adrenaline to it because he's adding his own voice to it. You know, it's not just the instruments. He's adding his voice, and his voice is what makes the Acacia part of what makes the Acacia Strain so heavy. Very powerful, very straightforward, very like heavy hitting vocals.
Especially his lyrics. He does not hold back with his lyrics. He is very proud of what he says, and he does mean it. And if you want to go in and listen to the Acacia Strain, I highly advise you know he is very anti-world. He hates the world, but in all honesty, he seems like a really good guy. I mean, if you ever see him live, he loves the crowd. He may pick on you, say you're crap if you're not doing much, but all in all, he loves the crowds, and he does love what he does. But just letting you know now, the lyrics in all of his albums are pretty intense.
The track listing for this album starts off with a track called The Beast.
My personal favorite.
Yeah, it opens up with kind of a ominous, kind of digital computer kind of squeal, and you hear like you know, a digital voice in the background of a lady, very very kind of bone chilling, I suppose, and then it leads right into the heavy, you know, brutal kind of, you know, breakbeat that makes you want to swing around and punch people in the head, basically.
Do not hold back.
They do not. And then it goes into the track "The Hills Have Eyes," which they currently have a music video for. A pretty funny music video. I mean, you should probably check it out. It's kind of a spoof of Dateline, To Catch a Predator.
I agree.
And then it goes into BTM FDR, Ramirez, which he loves, Terminated, Nightman, The Impaler, which is one of my favorites on the album, Jonestown, Bay of Pigs, The Carpathian, Unabomber, and Tactical Nuke.
You gotta listen to Tactical Nuke. I know there's like no lyric in it at all, really. It's just straight instrumental, except for a very deep, you know, again, intimidating voice in the beginning, you know. But other than that, it's an instrumental, same thing played over and over, slows down through the whole song, gets to a very dumbed down speed.
It starts off basically with, you know, a drum roll, and then it leads right into a breakdown. Wow breakdowns. And it's the same breakdown played over and over again, but after the first maybe 5 or 6 sequences, it starts to slow down. Every sequence gets slower and slower and slower until basically it makes you feel like you want to mosh like this.
It does. It really does.
It's probably the best song to listen to whenever you're drunk. He's had personal experience with that. Yeah, he was in my car, we were listening to the song, and he's just in the front seat.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a few months after the album came out, actually, I think.
It was.
I don't remember. But
suggestions from me. If you're going to listen to this, The Beast, definitely. Ramirez, definitely. For me, not so much him. Nightman. I love Nightman. The Impaler and Bay of Pigs. I would say Tactical Nuke, but we already told you that.
Yeah, so if you've never heard of the Acacia Strain, definitely check them out. They're a great band, you know, very chill guys. If you ever get the chance to see them live, by all means, do it. Do it. Those pits are insane.
No pit, I don't care what you say, is more dangerous and exciting than the Acacia Strain. I'm not kidding.
So definitely check them out, and like he said at the beginning of the video, start off with their first album, because the first album is actually kind of mellow. Take that and then move up to Continent and then move up to this, and then if you get the chance, check out their new song that they released a few months ago called Servant in the Place of Truth. That song, holy shit, is heavy.
When you start off listening to them, I'm telling you, other than just start off with their first album, listen to Whoa Shut It Down. Start your Acacia life off of Whoa Shut It Down.
Well, one of the best songs off the first album.
That's how you start it. Start it off that way. If you do, you're starting it right.
Because that's how every live show starts. He'll come out, he won't even say, hey, we're the Acacia Strain. He just comes out, whoa, shut it down! So, yeah, Wormwood by the Acacia Strain, definitely check them out. Get this album if you can. Buy it hard copy. Support the fucking band. Don't just download it off the internet, you bastards.
And if you don't like the Acacia Strain, there's something wrong with you.
Exactly. If you like metal, if you like hardcore, if you like to move, and if you like heaviness, listen to the Acacia Strain. If you listen to them and you don't like them, then you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you.